Hi guys. I wanted to come back into Living Matrix and look at some of the charts that have been posted. There is a unit where you can post your charts. If you have a specific question, I'm more like it seems like easier to actually take that chart and speak about it, because otherwise I kind of have to like look at everything. And you might already know quite a lot about your design. So I invite you, if you post your charts, to actually comment under what it is that you might want to know more about, and then I can look at that. So let's go in. I have a powerful profile lined up here. It's a 3-5 profile, and we can see how the geometry of the body graph is really interesting. Especially, I really like those double, where you have both conscious and unconscious in these gates. And you can see this root that is so defined. It has 2 channels. And there's so much perseverance, there's so much power, there's so much ability, this the sacral and the root energy together, so much energy to do things, to create things. We have that cross of penetration that we know it's can be a lot of agitation, but it's here to break through and create energy. It's a 3-5 profile. There's also a lot of power in, a lot of fire in the 3rd line, and a lot of master in the 5th line. Kind of masculine yang line that have direction as well. You have the 34-57, that is that true pure force, life force from the sacral center, together with the intuition that we have twice, both in the earth and in Uranus. In the channel of the perfected form, so intuition and strength or power together. And then we have a split from the emotional center to the throat, and we have the channel of openness. And this is interesting because we have generator with this super powerful circuitry here between the spleen, the sacral, and the root. And here we also have the motor going up to the throat with the 22-12, which is powerful as well up here, and a lot of activations in the throat. So we know that this is a manifesting generator. So it's the generator part of it is supposed to be that, like, it's a generator. So the sacral center is the most important. It's there all the time, and it's responding to life. And it wants to only respond to what regenerates, right? So it's important to be in the intuition, in the instinct, in the grounding, in knowing what's worth fighting for, basically, before somehow this can really come out and be like a superpower. At the same time, it's an emotional authority. So this is going to be strong. If we forget about this and just drive with this, there's this authority where there can be the mistake of making decisions in the wave, either when we're like high up or very low. So it's very important to listen to the emotions as well, and actually not make decisions when there is like in a roller coaster mode, but like wait until there's more calm. So a 3-5 with this cross can have a difficulty finding those moments of stillness and calm, but that's important in order for this part of it to function well. And also for this part to not take over, because it is a generator. We want to work from here, and then this will function correctly. We have completely open head and Ajna, so there can be this, it could be just listening too much to what's outside and both other people and environment, and get stuck in confusion and doubt, and even psychosis, and then this thing of like being so open, so not non-judgmental somehow, so that you actually become not judgmental, because you're like, I have to just be certain about things so I feel more safe. So that's the Ajna pretends to be certain, although we aren't, because that feels more safe. And here things can go round and round in the head because we're too open. So really here, when it's completely open, what I often say, you're basically here to kind of probably give humanity the chance to see these distortions and to inspire and inspire self-inquiry, inspire like imagination instead of being lost in those loops. And here it is to inspire openness, to inspire ideas, to inspire that there's so many different ways of seeing things and doing things. So that's how those open center can work. And then we have the G center and the ego that are open. So here it's about, not having to prove yourself or promise yourself, not getting stuck in that loop, because that's going to create a lot of shock for you. You're going to learn that that's not the way that you push through life. And with the 34 and the power here, you can have a tendency to kind of push and force things, and that's not the way. That's not going to help you to feel more self-love, more self-worthiness. And the same thing with the G center. When it's open, it's like not having to look outside yourself, or where you're going, or identity, or not looking for love outside yourself. So the G center kind of tells you to come back to your grounding, to like the fights is worth fighting for, and the stillness inside of yourself and your intuition, and go from there. And then you're going to be in the right place. Let's see, your attraction is the 52. Yeah, your attraction, how you attract the right relationships and how you can be grounded in your sexuality, is that stillness of the 52. It's knowing how to be the mountain, and then everything comes to you. So that's an important part. You're a warrior, but it's really important for you to finding the right things to put your perseverance into. And then if we look at the gene keys, it's a little bit small here, I think, to really see it clearly. But we can see that, again, the 51 is one of those keys that you have there twice. So there is this risk of shock when you're pushing things forward that are not ideal for you. And it's like it can become really kind of powerful, in a good sense and in a bad sense. And then you have a third line in your vocation, your pearls. So this is about celebration. It's about humor. It's about being able to actually laugh even when you push too hard sometimes, and come back and see that there is a sensitivity in you that you want to find, instead of this energy that is very powerful. You want to come back to sensitivity, want to come back to humor and to celebration. Actually, you actually have it in your culture too. So there is something where there's a kind of a little bit of a paradox between this powerful cross of the powerful cross of penetration and the 3-5, and then having the 19 3 times in your pearl sequence. That's really powerful. So coming back to like the whisper of things, spending time with animals and having to communicate with them instead of communicating with your mind, or instead of like pushing with your fire. And also maybe resolving, becoming your own parents, becoming your own role model, seeing in your life when you were a child, if you had it, if the inner child had what it needed, the 5 is kind of powerful. So it can be healing that wants to be done there. And then when it comes to the emotion, there could be an invasiveness where you're checking out. You might be there, and it might seem like you're there, but a part of you is not there. So stay in, when you're emotionally triggered, stay there, not escape it. Like, be there, because that helps to not escape up into the IQ. And for you, it looks like the IQ is about kind of being busy and having experience after experience, and not really having time to retreat, not really having time to be in your heart, but instead kind of be outgoing and convincing in some way with your mind. And that can then, you're not combining the EQ with IQ with the EQ, and finding that intelligence, and also this pathway of love that has to do with coming back to your body and feeling your body, which is connected to the 57, of course. They're programming partners, where you could feel unease in your body if you don't really come back and understand it, and see that the agitation or unease you can feel sorry, helps you listen to your body and find your way, find your clarity, find your intuition, find your initiative, because it comes from the intelligence of the body. And that's also when you tap into your sensitivity, and that's when you can start believing your own superabundance. Because before that, it can feel like it can be immature to think that things have to be a certain way, and logical. Many times we see in 3D and in power structures that we have today, when have to do with money and with work. It's like you can be kind of stuck thinking that you have to do something that actually don't have to do. In one way, you're here to really manifest from a sensitivity, from something that is very different from pushing. So I would love to hear if this resonates. So yeah, thank you.